Introduction, net worth. Raila Amolo Odinga, fondly known as Baba or Agwambo, was more than a political figure. He was a movement. As of 2025, before his passing, Raila's estimated net worth stood at around $60 million, accumulated through decades in public service, business ventures, and investments in real estate, energy, and education. His wealth, however, was never his true measure. Raila's richest asset was his unmatched connection to the Kenyan people. To millions, he embodied hope, resilience, and the unrelenting pursuit of justice for the ordinary citizen. Early life, parents, siblings, education background. Raila Odinga was born on January 7, 1945, in Masino, Kisumu County, to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first vice president, and Maria Juma Odinga. He was the third of their children and grew up in a politically conscious household where leadership and public service were part of the family fabric. Raila attended Miranda High School, one of Kenya's top learning institutions, before proceeding to Herder Institute in Germany for his A-levels. He later joined the University of Magdeburg, then Technical University of Magdeburg, where he earned a master's degree in mechanical engineering. His time abroad opened his eyes to modern governance and social democracy, principles that would later shape his political ideology. Personal life, wife, kids, religion, other works. Raila was a devoted husband to Mama Ida Odinga, his lifelong companion and pillar of strength. Their marriage, which lasted over 5 decades, was admired across the continent. Together, they raised 4 children: Fidel late, Rosemary, Raila Jr., and Winnie Odinga. Despite the tragedies that struck the family, especially the loss of their eldest son Fidel, Raila's faith remained unshaken. A practicing Christian, Raila's spirituality was deeply rooted in humility and compassion. He believed that leadership was a calling from God, not a privilege of the few. Beyond politics, he was a businessman, author, and philanthropist, supporting initiatives in education and youth empowerment through the Raila Odinga Foundation. His influence extended into sports and culture. He was an avid football fan and a key supporter of Gor Mahia FC. Professional career. Raila's political journey reads like a chapter from a revolutionary book. He entered politics during the repressive era of the 1980s and became a central figure in Kenya's struggle for multi-party democracy. For his courage, he endured multiple detentions without trial, spending over 8 years behind bars under President Daniel Arap Moi's regime. In 1992, after Kenya transitioned to multi-party politics, Raila emerged as a symbol of democratic resilience. He served as Member of Parliament for Langata, Minister of Energy, and later Minister of Roads, Public Works, and Housing. In 2008, following the disputed presidential election that led to post-election violence, Raila became Prime Minister of Kenya under the Grand Coalition government, serving alongside President Mwai Kibaki until 2013. Raila vied for the presidency 5 times: 2007, 2013, 2017, 2022, and 2027. Each campaign galvanizing millions of Kenyans who saw in him a voice for justice and reform. Though the seat eluded him, he remained a giant of democracy in Africa, earning global respect for his commitment to peace, especially after accepting the 2018 handshake with then-President Uhuru Kenyatta. House tour and car collection. Raila Odinga lived a life of simplicity blended with prestige. His Karen residence in Nairobi reflected both traditional Luo culture and modern elegance. It was often a meeting place for world leaders, musicians, and ordinary Kenyans seeking his counsel. The estate featured a lush green compound, a private library, and a museum corner showcasing his political journey. In Kisumu, his Riyadh Hills home stood as a symbol of pride, overlooking Lake Victoria, filled with African art, family photos, and memories of his lifelong service. His car collection included a Range Rover Vogue, a Toyota Land Cruiser V8, and a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, vehicles often spotted during public appearances. Yet, despite this, Raila was known to occasionally ride boda-bodas and mingle freely with ordinary citizens. College career. While in Germany, Raila's academic brilliance shone. His engineering background made him a thinker and a problem solver. Upon returning to Kenya, he worked as a lecturer at the University of Nairobi and later as a businessman, founding East African Spectre Ltd., a company specializing in gas cylinders. His academic discipline translated into his analytical approach to governance and policy formulation throughout his career. Cause of death. In 2025, Kenya was plunged into mourning when news broke of Raila Odinga's passing after a short illness related to complications from age and respiratory issues. He died peacefully surrounded by family in Nairobi Hospital on October 5, 2025, aged 80. His death marked the end of an era, but the birth of a legacy that will live on for generations. How Kenyans loved him. No Kenyan leader commanded the love Raila did. From Kibra's narrow lanes to the lakeside towns of Kisumu, chants of Baba, Baba echoed wherever he went. To the poor, he was a symbol of hope. To the youth, he was a mentor. To his critics, even he was the unbeaten legend. Kenyans wept openly during his funeral. Social media lit up with tributes, artwork, and songs in his honor. Streets were painted with murals bearing his face. Raila Odinga's story was not just about power. It was about love, sacrifice, and the dream of a better Kenya.